Right. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Clickbait Coffee. Let's let YouTube and StreamYard catch up, and then we'll get with it in a minute. All right. Apparently, local prepper Cal, he said he was number 2, but I don't see anybody above him. So, but we'll let Calvin be number 3. And then Russell Homestead. Good morning, Dana. Forrest is here. Bill's here. He said he'll be here a little late. Got chores. Greg Skeens, good morning. Swackham, good morning. Cindy Lou, good morning. And Tina, good morning. And yes, happy Friday. It's Friday. I've got a bunch of crap to do today. I got a bunch of orders to send out. A bunch of stuff. I got to do that. And LP, I didn't see ground fog. Oh, well. All right. Well, ground fog always does. He does like weird times. Like we'll have a live at like 8 o'clock in the morning, and he's like, hey, I'm here at, I don't know, 11 or 1 o'clock in the morning or something. It's crazy. So, but it was cool that he was on the live and actually commented Wednesday night. Michael Osborne, good morning. But yeah, I got a ton of stuff to do today. I've got to pack a bunch of orders, get those to UPS, and then I really need to go to my brother's house and work on his shower for a while. So I worked on it some yesterday, and I started putting a waterproofer up. We use this product called Go Board. It's a fiberglass on each side and then foam on the center, and you put it up, and then you coat your joints and everything with a special sealant, and it makes it all waterproof. That stuff is amazing, and it's awesome, and it's easy to work with. But, man, it's fiberglass, and it absolutely sucks. I got home yesterday. And I was like, I am itching like crazy all over. And it's all the fiberglass. So, I don't know. If anybody's worked with fiberglass, you know the rule. When you get in, you take a cold shower and rinse all that stuff off. Because if you jump in a hot shower, your pores just open up, and that fiberglass just sucks in. I'm like, this is not fun at all. So taking a cold shower, getting everything cleaned off, and then you can actually take a hot shower and thaw out from the cold shower. But luckily we got all of that done yesterday, so I don't have to mess with cutting the fiberglass tomorrow or today, just putting waterproofer on when I head down there. So, and also, if you caught the live on, Wednesday, when Shelly and I were on here, we were talking about the Muhlenberg County guy that was having relations with a deer. We talked about that extensively, and I called the T-shirt guy because people were like, you need to make a T-shirt. So the T-shirt guy is coming up with the design. It's going to be pretty funny. So we'll probably do like a real limited run, like a pre-order, and then whoever wants the shirts, we'll send them out to you. So be looking for it. He's going to try to get it done today. And as soon as he gets it done, I'm going to stick it up on the website, and it'll probably be a quick run. So whoever wants the deer shirts, let me know, and we'll get those jokers printed out. I called him and told him, and I was like, hey, this is what I want to do. And he was like, that's hilarious. He was like, let's do it. I was like, come up with the design and send it to me, and we'll get it out. So also I got to get that brewing. So BS, good morning. But so hopefully they'll be out pretty soon. Greg said he's in. So it's going to be what I told him I wanted. I was like, I want a deer head on the front, a buck, and it's going to say traditional mount. And then on the back, I just want the rear end of a deer. And on the back, it's going to say the Muhlenberg County mount. So it will be fun. So BS. Thirsty Thursday got a little out of hand. What was that? Thirsty Thursday, what, on YouTube or in person or what? Thirsty Thursday didn't get out of hand for me. I had to go to, we had a deacons meeting at church last night. So I was down there for about 2 hours in the deacons meeting, which some of it could have been an email. So it's fun. We make fun of the people. It's like some of these guys like to sit there and talk too long. But Thirsty Thursday didn't get out of hand for me. Sage Creek Prepper, good morning. Hope you are doing good. But All right, let's start out. Well, silver. We ask about silver every now and then. Let me pull it up and refresh this thing. Silver is almost at $93 an ounce. So it's come up a little bit. Let me see. Yeah, it's come up like 13 bucks an ounce, something like that. So who knows? Maybe silver will get back up over $100 an ounce. We'll see what it does. I'm not going to buy any unless it drops below 60 bucks an ounce. I'm out. It's too expensive for my blood right now. Let's see. What do you call a deer pack? A deer with no pecker and no eyes. No, Lord, Forrest. Forrest is hilarious. Forrest has got jokes this morning. So, hey, Forrest, are you still coming up this weekend? I know we had talked about you coming up and seeing one of your buddies in Tennessee, and you might swing up here. If you are, call me and let me know. Not right now, though. Call me after this. But we've got some stuff. Tomorrow, Shelly and Greg, new, and then myself and then Melanie, we're all teaching a CPR, AED, and first aid class here in Bowling Green. We've got to go do that. We're going to be teaching it tomorrow, pretty much most of the day. It'll probably last most of the day. So we've got it going. I've got to get a bunch of stuff ready for that. We've got all our mannequins and all that stuff. I got to get those packed in the truck this afternoon to where I don't have to do that in the morning. That, and then all our medical supplies, all that kind of stuff. But it's going to be fun. It's going to be a small class. I think there's 6 or 7 people in there. But it's going to be fun. So we're going to be teaching it tomorrow pretty much most of the day, having fun with that, meeting some new people and meeting probably some people that we already know, I would say. So we got to do that. So I'll get everything ready for it. Also, I want to show you something. I came up with the medical stuff. Everybody does all kinds of tactical stuff. It's like everything is always multicam or something like that. And it's all like super tactical. I was like, what if we came up with something for the kids that, something that the kids can carry in their backpack, they can carry in their baseball bag or, their basketball bag, whatever. They can keep it with them and take it to school where it won't violate any of the school rules. None of the teachers are going to be like, oh my gosh, little Timmy, you can't have that in your backpack. We're going to have to send you to the principal's office and expel you because they do that crap now. But we came up with a kit. It is the Ready Kid Kit. So this is an 8 mil Ziploc bag. So you can open it back up and seal it back up. But we came up with it for kids to keep in their backpack. Heck, you could keep one of these in your glove box if you wanted to. But I'll tell you, it's got a 4-inch North American trauma bandage. It's got 2 packs of compressed gauze. It's got a Schlissman pressure wrap. It's got an emergency Mylar blanket, a pair of nitrile gloves, and a mini ouch pouch. The mini ouch pouch has got some Band-Aids in there, some alcohol wipes, and some Neosporin in it. So it's one of these things. It's not a vacuum seal bag to where once you open it, it expands. This is in a Ziploc bag to where the kids, if they got a cut or scrape, something like that, they can open it up, grab the little mini ouch pouch, put their, wipe everything down with alcohol, put some Neosporin on it, and put a Band-Aid on it, and then put everything back in, just seal it back up, and stick that joker back in their backpack. So these are on the website. They're affordable too. They're $49.99 for what you get. I think it's a pretty stinking good deal. We wanted to keep the price low enough that, most people that got 2 or 3 kids, they can buy one for each kid, and you're not spending, $150 a pop or something like that for each kid. It's still affordable even if you got 3 kids at $49.99. But those are on the website live right now. I got them all fixed up last night late and got the pictures done and all that. It's funny, like the pictures on the website, I've taken most of those and I suck at taking pictures. It's like a pain in the butt. I'm like, these are not fun. But yeah, go check out the Ready Kid Kit on the website. And then, did y'all see Hillary Clinton, the charade of that? People are like, oh my gosh, Hillary Clinton's going to testify. She's actually going to get up there and testify about the list and all this. And when they ask her about it, it's like, did you personally know, Epstein? She's like, no, I've like never met him. I don't, or something. I've never met him in person or something like that. I know who he was. And then and then it shows all these pictures of times that she's in pictures with him and all this stuff. And it's just like, this is stupid. People are, a lot of these people are like, yes, everything's going to fall down, all this stuff. Nobody's going to get arrested. Nobody's going to do any time for any of this stuff. It's all a big charade. And you're looking at it. And my opinion on it is, honestly, we've got all the lists coming out, and some foreign people are like resigning and stuff like that, and everything. But we've got this whole list coming out. And now we're looking at starting a war with Iran. So it's like, hey, all this crap's coming out. Look over here at what my right hand's doing. We're going to go start a war so everybody forgets about this. And then it's all just going to be swept under the rug. And it's going to be like, oh, it never happened. All these elites are, yeah. BS says nothing will happen. 100%. It's not going to happen. Mama Bear, good morning. Thanks for jumping in. But yeah, nothing's ever going to happen with it. They're going to sweep it under the rug, and then it's all going to be Iran, and of course, I read somewhere that, the U.S. wants Israel to strike Iran first, so it gives a better look for the United States to strike it. So we'll, who knows what's going to happen. I've looked at the Iran stuff just a little bit, and I'm like, it's out of my ballpark. I was like, they're going to do what they want to. Sit back and prepare, Don't worry about what's going on over there. Get your system that you've got and keep working that system. Work the system. Don't run out today because they've got carrier groups over in the Middle East. Don't run out and max out your credit card or anything like that. Just stay the course. Maybe buy a few extra things, but don't spend $10,000 on preps and stuff like that. And then you're like, oh, I'm never going to be able to pay this off. Jake, thank you. Backpack insert. You can check, I think, Caliber Armor. Caliber Armor's on the website. I think it's caliberarmor.com. I've worked with those guys. They are based in Louisville. I know the owners. Well, they sold the company, but I talked to the owners of the company. I never did get up there to do a tour. I need to call them back. But I think it's caliberarmor.com. They sponsored the festival once and sent us some plates and stuff like that. But I'm pretty sure they got Kevlar inserts for a backpack. But honestly, if you're really going to do it, get some level 4 plates and put in a backpack. Unless it's a kid, that's going to get heavy for a kid. But if it's an adult, I would rather have level 4 plates in a backpack for sure. Let me see. And Matt says, only Congress has the authority to determine if we enter a state of war. That is correct. But has that stopped anybody? I mean, has that stopped any president in the past of, going over and bombing the hell out of some country that a lot of times don't really deserve it? We're just instituting what we want in the world and stuff like that. But yeah, I get it. By the Constitution, you're 100% correct. But that doesn't stop people from, stop the president from shooting missiles and doing drone strikes and all this other stuff. So whatever Trump wants to do, he's going to do it, whether Congress says, yeah, let's do it or not. But yes, consent of the government until we, the people, do something, nothing changes. Yeah, 100%. But the bad thing is, and the paradox we live in is all these people want to do stuff, but nobody wants to be the first dude standing up because the tallest nail, the tallest nail is the one that's going to get hammered down. But sorry about that. But yeah, nobody wants to be the first man standing because the tallest nail is the one that's going to get hit first. And then you're going to wind up with some kind of January 6th crap of they're like, oh my gosh, insurgency and all this. And you're going to rot in a jail cell for, 2 or 3 years before anybody does anything or anything like that. And you might not ever get out. Hell, they might just take you out and kill you out back. So we've got the numbers to do it. It's just being organized and stuff like that. It's one of those things. It's a slippery slope. I'm not saying that we don't need to do it, but I'm just saying that first nail sticking up is the one that's going to get hammered pretty quick. Let's see. Local prepper says Epstein files are payback for the Russia. Yeah. So they'll find something. To do about the Russian deal and all this. They'll wind up saying something about Russian. You know, the whole Russiagate thing is just stupid. Melanie, good morning. And let's see. Matt says, wife and I ordered an EcoFlow Delta Pro solar generator with 500 watt panel last night. Those are nice units. I'm an Anchor guy. I like Anchors. And yes, I'm drinking an iced coffee. My wife is amazing. She brought me a coffee this morning. Apparently, she went to Seven Brew after she dropped our son off. So, but yeah, I'm an Anchor guy. I started with Anchors and got them, and I like it. So I'm like, I'm just going to keep going on with Anchors. But the EcoFlows are great. I mean, they're a great unit. I'm talking to another company about possibly sponsoring the festival, and I've got to do some more emails with those people. They emailed me last night, and I emailed them first thing this morning. But it looks like we're going to have maybe a couple solar generators at the festival to put in the raffle. But yeah, the EcoFlows are good. I've got an Anchor 3800 model is what I've got, and then I've got some smaller Anchors like this. These are great. I mean, you can grab one of those things. It takes up literally no room. I wouldn't want to ruck it in a backpack too much, but you can throw it in the back seat of the truck or something like that. It's a smaller one. It only charges like small stuff. It doesn't have 120 volts. But yeah, the EcoFlows are great. And then also I've got the solar panels. A lot of people will do the solar generators and buy those, and then they don't buy the solar panels with it. I mean, when you do it, you need to buy the solar panels with it. I've got a 400 watt foldable panel for that 3800, and then I ran to Sam's the other day. I was in there and they had a small little solar generator, and if it wasn't in upstairs, I would grab it. But it's a small little dude. It's smaller than this Anchor, and it came with a little 30 watt panel, and they had it for like $50 marked down. I was like, shoot, I'll buy this thing even if it's a piece of junk. I'll buy it, and I don't have much in it. So I bought it. I want to try it out and see how it does. So, but yeah, the EcoFlows are good. And Dana, draw my name for the generator. Let's see. Local prepper. I'll talk more about the ways of the world at 10 a.m. on the live. Tell us more about leverage. All right. We'll get to it in just a second. And BS is like buy a copy of the Constitution before it's illegal. Yeah, exactly. And then Jake, Secretary of War title, let everyone know we're on the offensive now. Mama Bear, the Jackeries are good. I've never used a Jackery. I don't own a Jackery, but lots of people buy them. I would not be hesitant to buy a Jackery. All right. Local prepper wants to talk about the leverage. We'll talk about it. All right. You've built your homestead. You got the land, you got the land for your homestead. You've got your chickens, you got your raised beds and your garden set up, your food forest. Maybe you've even got your solar panels set out and doing all this. But the question is, did you build leverage or did you just build overhead? You've got to think about it. Did we invest all this money and do all this stuff just to have overhead and maintenance and stuff like that? All these people are wanting to move rural and everything like that. They all look at it as, hey, I want my freedom. I want food security. I want space. I don't want to be able to see my neighbors. I want to go out on the front porch and pee off the front porch every morning if I want to and not have to worry about the neighbors looking at me. They want independence, growing their own food, raising their stuff. And that's awesome. That's what I think everybody should strive for. The big food systems that we've got in the country don't work. I mean, if you look at it, look at the recalls they're having all the time. And the recalls are a totally different thing. I honestly think when they recall a bunch of this food, they take them to these deep underground military bases and and store them for the government, the continuity of government kind of deal. But that's a whole different rabbit hole. But somewhere along the way, some of these people, it's, they look at it and they're like, hey, I want this beautiful Instagram garden and all this stuff. I want pretty things. I want the Instagram barn, $30,000 solar setup, fancy chicken coops, all this stuff. But it's great. But did you just build a monster that you've got to keep throwing money into? Realistically, what you need to build on your homestead, you need to build an income stream. You need some way to make some kind, and it doesn't necessarily have to be money that you're getting. You can be trading stuff. If I'm growing lambs out, I don't have to sell those lambs. I could trade those lambs for something else. I could trade the lamb for beef. We're not raising beef right now. Shelly's got my cow up at her house and the calf. So I'm not raising beef right now. So if you look at it, I could trade that lamb for some beef, or I could trade some of that lamb with Dana for tinctures and herbal stuff, or some fermented stuff. So you've got to have some kind of income stream / trade network on it. And then, did you build any kind of community leverage? Do you have any leverage in this stuff? Hey, this guy's doing stuff good for the community. You're a name in the community and people respect you. Not just you're some crazy dude that built this Instagram homestead, or you moved in from out of state and you're a city person and now you bought 10 acres and you think you're going to be Farmer Joe and raise all this stuff. So you get in with the community on stuff. And then your market positioning, it's like, hey, we're going to raise organic grass raised lamb. You have some kind of market for that. I know some people, they moved way out in the middle of nowhere. They were like, we're going to raise organic non-GMO pork. And I'm like, y'all are in the middle of freaking BFE. Nobody wants that stuff, or people want that stuff, but there ain't no money for these people. I mean, it was a super poor area in the state, and they pretty much folded out. I'm like, you're having to take this stuff 2 hours to a bigger city to sell, and then the people just aren't buying it. So you've got to look at that, your market position. Land itself is potential. There's potential to do this, but then the way you set it up is the leverage that you're going to put into it, as far as financially, socially, and strategically. And let me see. Forrest, what Forrest say? Groups more organized than conservative Christians, trans, Islamic, and far left liberals, to name a few. Conservative groups are way behind and nearsighted while they're playing the long game. Yeah, 100%. It's, the Muslims are the best people at playing the long game. They've been playing it for a long time. And then part of the problem is a lot of the conservatives want to bitch and moan and fight with each other behind the scenes. And it's like, let's get organized. It doesn't matter, if we're black, white, brown, green, whatever, as long as you come together and you have these same ideas and you want the country to go a particular way, it's like, let's work together. I don't care. My whole thing is, it doesn't matter as long as we've got the same values, the same core values. I will work with you and we can do this. So, and then Dana, also starting extra seeds for plants to sell and trade is a great idea. Yeah, exactly. Oxford Kimma, howdy from Kansas. Good morning. And yeah, BS, those groups are funded by the commies for sure. And Cindy Lou says, listening on delay is why my comment is late. I have an Anchor 1800 and an Opus Mega 3 3600. Yeah, those are good. I've been looking at something in between on an Anchor, something that you can grab real quick and just throw in, something small. So I'm probably going to pull the trigger on a couple of those pretty soon. Another thing I've got is one of the Anchor coolers. Absolutely love that. It's one of their battery operated coolers. It will go down and actually freeze stuff. So when we run down, we'll run down to Costco every now and then. We take that cooler and get it, and if we're going to put all our cold stuff in there, if we're going to do some other things while we're down there in Tennessee. But the Anchor coolers are amazing. I did a video on it. The reason I got the Anchor cooler, I've got it. I need to buy an extra battery for it, but I've got the solar panels too. So if you really look at it in a longer grid down situation, you're not going to have tons and tons of stuff that you're going to need refrigeration for. So you're going to eat that stuff down pretty quick. I'm like, indefinitely, I can have a small refrigeration with that cooler that I can charge up every day. You know, if you're going to keep a little bit of milk in there, some stuff like that, it's like it's a small little refrigerator, and all I got to do is roll it out, charge the batteries with the solar panels, and you're set. That's one of the reasons I bought it. And my wife uses it a bunch at my son's school. When they do parties and stuff like that, she'll take it. And it's big enough you can get a good amount of stuff in it, but it's also small enough that she can pick it up and throw it in the back of her car. Let's see. And then Cindy says, city people move in and then complain and try to change things. Yeah. Don't you just love those people? That, and it's like the stupid liberals too. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm moving out of California. I'm going to move to Texas. And they get to Texas and they're like, it sucks here. We need to change this. And it's like, you want to change it from what you just came from. It's the whole liberal mental retardation that they've got. I was talking to one of my buddies and he was like, liberalism is actual mental disorder. He was like, these people have a mental problem with them going on. I was like, dude, I totally agree with you. So Bill says, an example of building community is the way I've started giving eggs to neighbors. Now they're getting a taste of real eggs and they're giving donations towards feed. See, that's amazing right there. I mean, Bill's got it going on. That's what you need to be doing. All right. What leverage kind of actually means on this whole thing, on your homestead? You know, we're generating income on it. That's one of the biggest things. If you can generate some kind of income from your homestead, it's going to help pay for itself. You know, you're probably not going to pay the whole thing on your income streams from there. Some people just don't have the time, but if it can generate a little bit of income, you're doing great on it. And then that also helps you unplug from the 9-to-5 job. If you've got a 9-to-5 job, that helps you. It's kind of a side gig. And now there's all kinds of stuff that you can do, income streams from your homestead. And don't just pin yourself down to, oh, I've got to sell eggs, or, oh, I've got to sell chicks, or, oh, I've just got to sell plant starch and I've got to sell vegetables and produce and stuff like that. I mean, hell, you can make soap if you want to. You can do all kinds of handmade goods, stuff like that. The sky's the limit on it. Heck, you can teach processing classes if you want to. You can teach canning classes. I mean, if you want, Dana could teach fermentation classes at her house if she wanted to. There's just all kinds of stuff that you can do. So generate some kind of income from that. Don't let it just be a drain. You know, don't be spending, you know, $1,000 a month on all this stuff just to have a bunch of pets at your house. You know, if you got animals. Also, along with the income stream, you're looking at tradable goods. Dana was just saying, start extra plants and you can trade those. If you're growing a bunch of vegetables, trade those out. If you're talking, you know, Bill talking about giving the neighbors eggs, and then they're like, "Ooh, I want some more of these eggs." They're throwing in money for the feed. So Bill's getting eggs, and if he does it right, he can get his eggs almost for free by giving some to his neighbors. You know, they're going to pay for the feed on it. And 60 Old Man Growing says sell firewood. Yeah, exactly. If you've got enough acreage and you've got trees to do it, man, go out and cut firewood. That's a good business. There's guys that make pretty decent good money doing that. And then Dana says, I'm tossing around the idea of offering a canning class held in the outdoor kitchen when the weather warms up. See, Dana's thinking about it. That would be something cool to do. That's an income stream right there. Another thing you're going to provide in-demand skills. That right there, what Dana's talking about, that is a skill that people want to learn. Some people are scared about canning. So if you can provide a skill and show people how to do stuff, they're going to come back. You look at it too. If you've got skills, if you know how to weld, one of my friends went through a welding class. He told me, he was like, I went through an all-day welding class. This guy charged X amount of money. And he was like, I was there all day. And he said it was totally worth the money. So this guy built his skill set. And he was like, I feel pretty confident on welding now. He's like, I'm not going to go out and do it professionally or anything, but I'm doing a lot better. So these skills are in demand. Any kind of stuff, maybe construction skills, things like that. But get those in demand skills. This is all going to reduce dependency, in big ways on stuff. If you've got the income streams coming in and stuff like that, it's going to reduce dependency, and it positions you as valuable in the local network. So it's like, hey, these people know what they're doing. The husband can weld and he can fix just about anything. And then the wife, she knows how to do all kinds of canning stuff. They're valuable here. We need to keep these people happy. The thing is, if your homestead costs you $2,000 a month to maintain, it produces zero income, zero value, zero trade. I mean, it's not resilient. It's a hobby is what it is. And it's an expensive hobby too. If you're spending $2,000 a month, on this stuff, I see so many people, they've got all these animals and all this stuff. And it's like, what are you doing with these animals? And they're like, nothing really. They're just out there eating the grass. And then we're feeding them hay all year and everything. And I'm like, are you not selling these things? What are you doing? It's like, you've got a freaking petting zoo is what you've got. And you've got an expensive petting zoo at that. So that's one of the things. Let me see. Bill says, I know my phone is a computer, but a desktop computer is a lot easier to edit the videos. Yes, the editing video sucks, Bill, and a desktop is easier to do it. And 60 old man, the firewood can get you started in doing something else. Yeah, cut some firewood, make some money on the stuff, then throw that money back in to doing something else with it. Let's see, Cindy. How much can someone make by renting land for cattle or hay? Cindy, that's all going to depend on the area that you're in. And I don't know what land is leasing for right now. I could not tell you that. I know it's going to be different for row crop as opposed to just running cattle on it. I don't really know. I don't talk to any of the guys that are leasing stuff, but there's a little bit of money to be made in it. You're not going to like pay the farm off, I don't think, but you can make a little bit of money on that. Dana says, lots of people want to pay me to raise and can food for them, but I'd rather teach them how to do it so they'll have the skill set. Yeah, exactly. Teach them how to do it, because you're caught in that trap. Is if you're just always doing it for somebody when you're like, no, I don't have time to do it, they're just dead in the water. So yeah, I would much rather teach the people the skills and stuff like that. Jake says, take the property tax and insurance total. First goal, make enough to cover it. Yeah, I mean, if you can make enough to cover your property taxes and your insurance, that's a good deal starting out. And it depends on where you're at, on how much your property taxes are. Let's see. LP says education. Yeah. I mean, if you know how to do stuff, and have valuable skills that you can trade, you're always going to have something to do. I mean, welders are always busy. Handymen are always busy doing stuff. There's so many different things that you can do with it. You're never going to be out of work or not have anything to do if you're educated on stuff and know how to do hands-on stuff. Everybody says, oh, AI is going to take your job. And then it's funny, like there's a TikTok is like, I'd like to see an AI measure a board 3 times and then still cut it wrong or something like that. But yeah, there's jobs that AI are going to take for sure. But then there's jobs that AI is not going to take. AI is not going to take your job if you're out there welding stuff, if you're out there building chicken coops for people, if you're out there building houses, doing all that stuff, pouring concrete. AI is not going to take that job. So I would have loved to AI took the concrete jobs, several years or back in the day when I was pouring concrete all the time. That was probably the least fun I had when I had my concrete business. And then Dana says, exactly, knowledge is truly powerful. Bill says, I'm using firewood as a barter tool. Come help me cut the down trees. You get half the firewood, and I have at least one neighbor that's in on it. Yeah, do stuff like that. That's cool. And Swackham, my guess is pretty high. Deer hunting leases are stupid expensive. Yes, some people are getting stupid amounts of money for deer hunting leases around here. I don't know how much, but I've seen some of it, and they're asking a pretty penny on it. And Bill said, I traded some of my eggs for some roofing material for my chicken coop. Cindy, AI won't take my house cleaning job. Yeah, you're going to have AI is not going to come in and clean houses for people. AI is going to take some of the jobs, but it's not going to take all of them. And I'm not super worried about AI taking my job. All right. Kind of the liability trap. And this is part of this is what Jake was talking about. If the economy gets tight, the property taxes, you've still got to pay property taxes on your place. Equipment's still going to break. And look at that. Feed prices are still going to rise. The insurance is still going to increase. So if your homestead can't offset some of those costs, what are you going to do? You're going to be vulnerable. If you've got a $2,000 a month trap on your homestead and it's not bringing in anything, and the economy gets tighter than what it is right now, you're going to be in a liability. You're vulnerable. It's like, ooh, how am I going to pay this thing? How am I going to pay the property taxes? And real leverage stuff like this. And this is just a list of stuff I've got. And y'all have talked about a bunch of this already. Selling eggs, or trading out and getting feed cost, like Bill's doing. Hey, give these people eggs. They're going to buy some feed. That's going to take part of the feed bill off of you. Offering welding services. I mean, all kinds of stuff. There's stuff I need welded here. I suck at welding, so I need some stuff welded up. Running a micro nursery. Dana's talking about doing stuff, starting seeds for people and selling it. I know Greg Skeens and his wife, last year they did all kinds of seed starts, and I think they went to the flea markets and sold those. One of the guys I get hay from, man, every weekend he's at the flea market in the spring selling starts. So you can do that. And there's very, very little money in doing this stuff. Starting a micro nursery. Heck, you can go, if you want to, you can get comfrey root and plant a bunch of comfrey. And then once it grows up, you can harvest the comfrey, and then you can feed your animals the comfrey, or you can make comfrey salve if you want to. And then you can go in, dig the plant up, you can sell the crowns, and then you can sell root cuttings, and you can just, pop. You can get from one comfrey plant, you can get quite a bit of money off that plant if you divvy it up and do it the right way. Producing value-added goods. Doing stuff like that. Add value. If there's a product that you've already got, add some value to it. Do some consultations for people if you want to. We do consultation stuff all the time. I talk to people about stuff, show them how to do stuff. That's kind of a value-added product. And then Dana's talked about that, teaching skills locally, teaching people how to can, doing stuff like that. We do this also. We're doing the pig processing workshop. We've got it coming up March 21st. We got the sheep processing class coming up April 11th. And then we got the radio class. That's going to be May 30th. So we've got those 3 classes. Those are teaching you skills. And that's how we make some money off the homestead, is doing those classes and teaching people how to do stuff like that. Cindy's talking about this, renting your pastures out. If you're not using this pasture, hey, lease it out for a couple years and get some money off that. I mean, especially if you've got enough land and it's like, hey, we don't need all this. We've only got half a dozen sheep and we don't need that 10 or 15 acres. Let's lease it to somebody to cut hay off of. So you can do that. Old man has said selling firewood. I've got that on here. Repairing equipment. If you're good at mechanic and stuff, mechanics are always going to be needed on stuff. You know, stuff's always breaking down. A good mechanic is going to make a buku of money if he knows what he's doing. Let's see. Swackham says, had a buddy try to get me in on a lease last year. I can't remember exactly how much it was overall, but I think it was around $8,100. Darn. How big a farm was that for $8,100? I would be interested to know. Bill said, I'm waiting to see AI build a house or move temporary fencing. Yeah, there's some stuff AI just ain't going to be able to do. Cindy says, there's 1,200 acres for sale for $9 million. It has 3 homes, hunting camp in St. Clair, Alabama. That's more money than I've got right now. $9 million. But man, it would be amazing to have 1,200 acres. I would take 1,200 acres. Let's see. Bill says my feed bill's gone up significantly, over quadruple what it was 6 months ago. I've got to get back some of that money. Bill, you need to do the chicken tractor on steroids or the chicken tractor on meth. Do it. Start making the compost. Let your chickens start eating for free. So that, and then start getting some food scraps. Start getting food scraps from places. I was feeding. Morning, Shelly. Shelly jumped in here. Look, she must not be doing anything at work today to jump in. But hey, Bill, look at the food scraps. Start doing that, man. You can feed the pigs for darn near free. I mean, we were producing pork for darn near nothing when I was getting food scraps and doing it that way. So, you know, the collapse for most people, you know, when you imagine it, it's going to be, Shelly says, I got meetings starting in 18 minutes. Well, we'll be about finishing up for them. So, or somewhere close. But the collapse for most people, everybody imagines it dramatically. You know, tanks rolling down the road, North Koreans parachuting out of the sky like Red Dawn, and everybody yelling Wolverines and stuff like that. I don't think it's going to be that way. We're living in some kind of collapse right now, in my personal opinion. Look at how much, you know, power the dollar's lost, all this stuff. Everything just keeps getting more expensive. It's going to be slow. I mean, we're in a slow burn right now. It's going to be economic. Inflation is just going to keep going, and you're going to be restrictive. And in that environment, the people who survive best aren't the ones with the most stuff. It's the people that are useful. If you look at that, how many people are going to cut out going to the movies? How many people are going to cut out getting their hair done? You know, I don't know how often women get their hair cut. My wife cuts my hair. So, but they're not going to get their hair done as much. Their nails done. They're going to cut out all this stuff. And it's going to have to go to stuff that is actually useful and usable for your thing. So money gets tight tomorrow. Who needs you? People are always going to need food. They're always going to need some kind of skills and stuff like that. People always need stuff fixed at their house. Most people can't do a lot of the fixing. You would be surprised on how much money you can make doing stuff. I've got a couple customers that literally I go in and do I call it handyman or honeydew list. They will send me each month. They're like, hey, I've got a list of stuff I need you to do. I charge them by the hour on it, and then run in there and do it. And then they just leave me a check, and they're like, we trust you. You've been doing this for years. So come on in, take the check, and fill it out. And I always tell them how many hours I've done it and tell them what the check is for. And they're like, that's amazing. Come do it. So you're useful. Who needs you? Who doesn't need the property? It's what you can provide off your property. And, you know, these people are going to need food. you've got eggs, you're producing eggs, or you're producing lambs, or you're producing pigs. These people are going to need you. And it's not, oh, I'm a hairdresser. It's like, cool, bro. That's not super useful. We're in economic decline. I'm not getting my hair done for a while. So, and let me see. Managed decline. Yes, BS. It's semi-managed. I don't think they're managing it super good, but it's going to break loose and it's not going to be managed soon, I think. Let me see. Bill says, we got a produce stand that gives us all their unsellable food. It just hadn't opened for the season yet. All right. Yeah, do that. And do that. I mean, you can really cut your feed bill down. And Cindy says, every 3 months for haircuts, $30. All right. I don't know the last time my wife cuts my hair and we just run a 1 on the sides and like a 4 on the top and just slip and go. Well, Shelly said barber skills are bartering skills. I guess they could be. I don't know. I don't see it as like, ooh, I need to get my hair cut. It's like, let's just grab the clippers and go. So it might be. You never know. But remember, the barbers used to be the medics back in the day. And Matt says, look at the national debt clock. Debt clock keeps climbing. Yeah, the debt clock, I don't know. It's that stupid thing just keeps climbing. I hadn't looked at that one. I don't know when. We're never going to pay the national debt off. I don't even know why they bother looking at it anymore. Cindy said for the ladies, it's worth it. And Shelly did used to be a barber back in the day. Swackham said, I tried to find out how many acres it was, but couldn't find it. There are also going to be along 5 or 6 guys on it. I didn't get in on it. I don't blame you. That's a lot. That's a lot for a deer lease. LP says, I learned to cut hair on the ship in the Marines. If you're good, you'll have some customers. I don't know. In a grid down, I'm going to keep the same haircut. It's just going to be like trim all of it off, give me a little bit on the top, and then we'll roll with it. So, all right. Actions we need to do. This is what I want you to do. If you've got your homestead set up or you've got your small little acreage, anything like that, go in there and think about it today. List 5 ways your homestead can generate some income. And I mean, I'm not talking, we're not talking getting rich. We're not like, ooh, we're going to drill an oil well and we're going to be landman and be producing 1,000 barrels of oil a day. Look at small stuff. And, you don't have to do just 5. What if you've got 10 ways you can do it? What if you're like, ooh, I want to start, as soon as it gets a little bit warmer, we're going to start doing seed starts. And I'm going to go to the flea market and the farmer's market and sell seed starts. There's one right there. Or, hey, we've got an abundance of eggs. We're going to start selling those eggs. Take your seed starts and your eggs to the farmer's market, sell those things. And it's going to be different stuff. Oh, maybe like Dana is talking about, maybe I'm going to do a canning class for people and have those over. Charge them a fee to come for the canning class. It's like, hey, it's X amount. We're going to do an all-day canning class. I'm going to show you how to do it. And then the next thing is identify 3 skills that you can monetize locally. Stuff that you can do. If you're on a 9 to 5 right now, be like, hey, on the weekends, I can go and start advertising this stuff. I mean, guys make darn good money just doing handyman work. I mean, there's several companies in Bowling Green. All they do is handyman work, and they make a good living. Look at it. If you can weld, be like, hey, on the side, I'm going to start welding. On Saturdays, we're going to go in and weld stuff, fix stuff for people. Hey, maybe people need chicken coops built. Maybe we're going to build some chicken coops for that. But find 3 skills you could monetize locally. Go in and audit your expenses versus what you're producing. Look at it and be like, hey, I'm spending X amount on chicken feed. I'm spending X amount right now on hay. This is what my water bill is for the animals. Figure all that kind of stuff. on everything. Figure it so you know where you're at. You know how much money you're putting in every month, and you know what you're getting or what you're not getting back. So see how big a deficit it is for you. And then also one thing you need to look at is ask yourself, if I lost my main income, how long would this property sustain itself? So you've got to look at that. You know, did you have, you know, a $2,000 or $3,000 a month mortgage payment on your property, or is your property paid off? Or do you have a super small little mortgage payment on your property, and you're like, man, if I lost my job today, my main income stream, and I started today with some of this smaller stuff, would I be able to make it? And how long would I be able to sustain this property? And then start building one revenue producing system this year. Once you've gone through all this stuff, it's like, let's focus on one thing. If you're like, hey, I want to be the egg person, it's like, let's start selling those eggs. Let's find some customers. And once those customers are like, hey, we need more, or those customers are like, Bill's got the best eggs ever, and you're picking up more customers, let's keep building that system. But don't build it so massive, and don't borrow money for this, but just keep building it little by little, and just do it with cash. And then pretty soon, instead of 4 or 5 customers, you know, 3 months down the road, you've got, you know, 20 customers, and then you keep going. And by the end of the year, you've got 40 customers with eggs. You're making some decent money. And also you're getting your pretty much your eggs for free. So look at that. So start building one revenue producing system in this year is what you want to do. Let me see. Dana said this year doing an honor system farm stand in the driveway, planning to sell extra plant produce and eggs. That's pretty cool. See, you could do a little thing like that and make some decent money on it. Do the honor system, set it up. That's going to be an income stream for your homestead. Let's see. Bill says 1 week's egg sales nearly covers the feed cost. Plus the eggs are off the grocery list. Yeah, that's a big thing. I mean, once you do it, you could start actually making some money on this stuff. And BS says, when I bought my property, I made sure I could afford it working at McDonald's. Yeah, that's a lot of people are like, you know, they go out and they buy all this property, do this stuff, the Instagram gardens and all this stuff. And you're looking at it and you're like, holy crap, this mortgage payment is stupid. I've got credit cards from where I had to have this bougie chicken coop, and I put all the chicken coop stuff on a credit card. Now I'm paying 30% interest on it. And you're like, it's not tenable. You just can't do that stuff. But that's an amazing deal. It's like, hey, I could go work at McDonald's and still afford to keep the property. So remember this. This is some of the stuff. Homesteading is a powerful tool that you've got. But land without leverage is a liability. Land with leverage is going to be your freedom. I mean, so think about it. And the big thing is, don't just have your homestead and have, you know, some pretty little animals out there and you're not making any money off of it. Turn it into a production system. Turn it in to where you're eating meat off your land, to where you're eating the vegetables that you're growing, or you're trading for it. Say you suck at gardening. I suck at doing gardens. I'll be honest with you, but I would rather trade some lamb chops for a bunch of vegetables to somebody. Or herbal stuff, the tinctures and everything. I'd rather trade some lamb or trade some pork chops to somebody to get the tinctures and stuff like that. So think about that. Build some leverage on it and make some money on this stuff. Don't be stuck just to your 9 to 5 and working for the man all the time. It's like, let's build our systems to where it's like, screw the man. I'm going to stay at my place and make money here and not worry about what everybody else is doing. And I don't have to report to anybody. It's like, whatever, you know, I can say screw off to whoever I want to, and I'll go raise the sheep and I don't have to talk to anybody. Mom Better says, Eastern cultures think and plan for multiple generational growth. Yeah. And now here, what they do is like, oh, I'm waiting for grandma. I'm waiting for grandma and grandpa to die. And then I'm going to inherit their, 200-acre farm. And then I'm going to sell it off for, you know, $10 million for this place, then I'm going to sit back and go buy me a new boat and a new truck and just live off that. And then the whole generational thing is done. Bill says, I found it affordable to add 1 dozen chickens a quarter, and then we have enough land to pasture graze up to 80 layers and raise enough meat chickens to feed us for the year. See, Bill's got it going on. He's got it figured out. BS says, I have many foraging books, but it's not the same as a person teaching you. Any foraging folks, you know. Yeah, and Shelly said Leslie does a foraging class. So check it. It's a School of Earth and All. You can check it on Facebook. I know she's on Facebook, I think Instagram, and then she's got a website, and she'll be doing classes. Because BS, I forgot where you're at. So, but she will be doing a foraging walk at the festival. And Michigan Silverback, my shopping cart man, is here. Good morning, buddy. And Cindy says, my plan is to buy 50 plus acres after I sell my parents' house. 50 plus acres would be cool. I mean, you can do a whole lot on 50 acres. You can do some serious stuff there. So, all right, guys, that's all I've got today. If y'all need anything, run to the website, pick your stuff up. Also, pick up festival tickets. The festival tickets are on sale, and people are buying T-shirts. If you buy your festival tickets, you can get the festival T-shirts for 10% off right now. They take just a few days to get printed up and shipped out because we make them to order. Or actually, my T-shirt guy makes them to order. But yeah. All right. LP, I will jump on there. I've got to get ready. I've got to run and get some stuff going, but I'm going to jump on there here in a minute. So yeah, everybody run over. When I'm done with this, run over and check out. It was Local Prepper, but it's now Cal Was Here. But if you still type in Local Prepper, it'll still show up. So, but yeah, festival tickets, run, get your festival tickets. Check that out. Tickets are $45. That's for all 3 days. The only thing extra on that is if you want to do our trauma management course, we're going to be teaching that on Thursday before the festival. But $45 gets you in for all the workshops, all that stuff. And if you buy your tickets, you can get 10% off festival t-shirts, and then you can wear your shirt to the festival. So, guys, I appreciate y'all. I will see y'all Tuesday morning. Maybe we might do a live. I don't know. Hi, Homestead. Good morning. We're just now getting out of here. But, guys, I appreciate y'all. Maybe I might do, I don't know what I've got going on Sunday night. We might do like a live stream Sunday night. We'll see. But, guys, I appreciate it. I'm going to go pack some orders and run to the UPS store and then run to my brother's house for a while. So, guys, I appreciate you, and I'll see y'all Tuesday. Y'all have an amazing weekend.